Dark web is a term familiar to you, but how many of you understand the gravity of what is in that hidden part of the internet? It is beyond what you can imagine, and while making this video, I was also taken aback by the sheer magnitude of crime that is facilitated by the dark web. Come with me as I embark on the journey to explore the mysteries and illicit operation of the dark web's black market. See, in simplest terms, the dark web is a collection of websites that are only accessible via specialized browsers. While it is not illegal to browse through the dark web, the benefits it offers certainly encourage and even conceal the crimes. Your identity remains hidden, the sites and services are untraceable, and most importantly, illegal action can be taken by both users and providers. The crime facilitated by the dark web was detectable to some extent in the past, but the invention of cryptocurrency has changed everything. The decentralization and the lack of regularization allow criminals to make untraceable transactions. It has promoted an already existing industry of the black market to the mainstream, where people can purchase drugs and weapons and even steal data. Let's explore more about these illicit trades of black market in this video. Weapons. Unfortunately, the United States is not alien to mass shootings. If anything, it is one of the most frequently reported pieces of news in our headlines. While measures to prevent mass shootings are often discussed and debated in society, the isolated incident of shooting often goes unnoticed when they really should not. According to a report published in 2020, about 40,000 die of gun violence every year in the United States. Despite the efforts to curb guns in the country, the number of such incidents has not dropped. According to a recent report, more than 48,000 people's lives were taken away by gun-related violence. Now, what is the connection of gun violence with the black market, you may ask? Well, the major portion, which is more than 40% of the total guns used in such instances, are purchased from this market. Again, this report was published in 2019, when the cryptocurrency was not as popular as it is today. These stats only account for gun violence in the United States, and the black market is not restricted in the US. Imagine the scale of such an illicit trade in countries of Africa and Middle Eastern Asia, where the governments cannot even keep the slightest of check on such a market. Guns that are otherwise banned or strictly regulated in certain countries can be easily obtained from the black market. Unsurprisingly, it is exactly where most mass shooters in the US obtained their guns. According to government figures, most mass shooters either use the guns purchased by themselves from the black market or the ones their relatives or friends have purchased from the same market. While the sellers sell weapons and explosives around the world on the dark web, the US appears to be the most common source of all listings. According to research, about 60% of the total weapons on the black market originate from the US. In addition to selling live weapons, the dark market also offers paid tutorials on converting the replica of guns into real weapons. Some even guide the tutorial on the creation of weapons using 3D printers. The weapon trade makes up around 90% of the revenue generated by the stores on the dark web. According to the same research, transactions worth $80,000 are made every month in the US, which means about 136 untraceable firearms are added into society every month. Drugs. Drugs are the second highest seller on the dark web, and acquiring drugs through the dark part of the internet is even simpler and easier than purchasing a weapon. The packages containing drugs are delivered via mail in a small envelope, which looks exactly the same as countless other mail that are distributed around the world. The scale of such operations is unimaginable. A teenager was caught acquiring these drugs after 2 years, and he called the dark web the Amazon of drugs. He told CNBC that drugs such as LSD, carfentanil, and methamphetamine, which were otherwise not available in his area, kept steadily coming to his home for at least 2 years. There is no dealer in Calgary that can match the huge selection that is available on the darknet, the teen told CNBC. Canada is among the most affected countries by the illicit drug trades on the darknet. It is mainly because at one point, the country was home to the highest number of dealers in a dark web market called Alpha Bay. While the police shut the market down, it did not stop or even dent the illicit drug trade on the internet. The moment one market shuts down, another one pops up beats the previous one in terms of sale. Silk Road was the first large-scale dark web market, which opened in 2011. While it has been shut down, many Silk Roads have opened up. Right now, Dream Market is believed to be the largest seller of drugs in Canada, with more than 100,000 listings. More than half of these listings are for illicit drugs. In addition to drugs, Dream Market also sells designer clothes, counterfeit money, and even stolen banking information. Authorities in Canada have started sting operations against the sellers of drugs on the market. Sergeant Mike Leland, who works for the Calgary Police, told CBC News that while this new form of drug trade is challenging to stop, authorities have started making some grounds. Recently, British Columbia declared last fall they had disrupted one of the most sophisticated fentanyl trafficking and exportation enterprises they had seen in Canada. The arrest of 2 accused involved in the trade was made when policemen posed as buyers and conducted long covert surveillance. The probe concluded in the seizure of up to 25 packages containing fentanyl destined for America and Canada. Data. How many times have you heard about the data breach of companies that have thousands, if not millions, of users? Have you ever wondered what happens once the data has been stolen? Well, it gets sold on the black market, and this part of the market is growing on the dark web because of flimsy laws regulating it. Like other businesses, the illegal trade of data also follows a systematic supply chain system. A hacker stole the data from the vulnerable system and sold it to the store or individuals on the black market. The data is then put on sale online, where people can purchase them and do all sorts of fraudulent activities. The darknet websites are at the center of such trade because the normal internet does not allow such activities. An independent website has discovered at least 30 markets on the dark web involved in the trading of data. According to a report, the vendors had generated about $140 million in revenue over a period of just 8 months by trading sensitive information. Some of the popular darknet stores involved in the illicit trade of data include Corona, Cartel, Aurora, and Agartha. Is it possible to regulate the dark web? What we have discussed so far in the video is only the tip of the iceberg. The dark web can also facilitate some of the nasty and illegal activities, including organ trading, human trafficking, and even videos that are banned from the standard internet. However, the question is whether the dark web can be regulated. The biggest challenge in regulating the darknet is anonymity. See, the tools used to access the darknet are not inherently illegal. The same tools are also used for whistleblowing by journalists and those in important positions. So the authorities cannot distinguish between innocent users and those who are using it for nefarious activities. The second important challenge is the borderless nature of the internet, which makes application of the regulation quite difficult. No single country or organization can control the internet, and anonymous regulation by all countries is also not an option. While some countries have tried to address this issue by banning tools such as Tor, which lets users access the dark web, it cannot be replicated in countries where fundamental rights are guaranteed. The only way to curb the illicit trade on the darknet is for all the countries to come together and create a dark web policy and develop specific tactics to prevent them on the darknet. That's all for this video. We hope it was informational. Let us know if you have ever tried to access darknet, and if you did, what did you find on there? Stay connected with the channel because, as always, we will see you in the next one.